Hey everyone, Angus here, and hopefully I'm in the camera, and if not, that's life. So what we have here is the 1/4 scale statue for Kaisa made by Pure Arts. It's a League of Legends character. And unfortunately, I don't really do things IRL too often, so if the audio sounds a bit off or the lighting's not optimal, I do apologize for that. But without further ado, let's get this bad boy open.
Oh, I got it the right way up the first time. We're gonna go ahead and get this out. You know what? Let's get this back up and we'll take a look at it. Alright, let's go ahead and take a look at the box now. This is the front view. This is the first side view. And then we'll turn it to the back. And I believe this is one of Kaisa's short bios. I'll go ahead and zoom in for you guys. You can take a look at it if you want. And here is the other side panel. And finally, I think I checked the bottom of the box, and of course, there's nothing there. Let's go ahead and open up the box now by removing those two tabs on the sides. And we're going to be greeted with a beautiful styrofoam box. And there's also a nice little package here that is the instructions for the assembly. And on the other side, there is a ticket of authenticity. And we'll take a look at the other things in the package later in the video. Now that I've unleashed the styrofoam box, let's get it opened up and take all the small parts out. I do have a note here that said that the box smelled fairly weird when opening it, but I'm pretty sure most figure boxes do smell quite weird for a bit. They just gotta air out. So right here is the largest piece, that is the base. And let's go ahead and open the second part. I think I almost dropped something here, but luckily it's really tightly secured with those zip ties right there. So I'm just removing all the parts here to make sure that assembly later down the road is fairly easy for myself. Let's take a look at the contents of that small package. Right here is the assembly guide for the statue. And what we're looking at right now, I believe this is the monstrous short story that came out with Kaisa's release. And here is the certificate of authenticity. And here is the splash art for said short story. Let's go ahead and grab the base right here. It's actually relatively heavy, so I wanted to be very careful with it. And once the base is settled down, we have to add these two voidlings or void creatures. I'm not really sure if you can call them voidlings. So here are some close-ups. It's actually really well made and really detailed. And you might notice this peg at the bottom right here. That's so you can attach it to the base, like so. And it slides in perfectly fine, so you don't have to force it in and worry about breaking anything. And we need to go ahead and unwrap the other voidling once I can find it. There it is. And once we get it unwrapped, you're going to see that it's very similar to the other one. I believe the legs are in a different position. And again, it has a peg at the very bottom just so it inserts nicely onto the base. And this voidling goes onto the other side of the base. I think I do rotate the base around for you guys so you can see it a bit better. Yep, there you go. So yep, it just fits on right there. And honestly, the base just looks so cool already. Let's go ahead and move on to the second part of assembly where we're going to be adding the body. Let's just get it unwrapped here. And you may notice that the foot has a peg on it, and I'll just call it a audio jack, let's say. So you'll see what that's for later on, but I will go ahead and put it onto the base right now. And I think I do struggle a bit here just because I didn't really want to force it in. But I think it did end up taking just a little bit of strength, and you hear a very distinct click from the plug once it's fully inserted. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the arms. I believe this is the right arm, so I'll have to go to the other side to plug it in. And contrary to the body and the base, putting the arm onto the body is actually a lot easier in this case. And even when I let go, it stayed in place, so that's very nice. And let's go ahead and put on the other arm. This is the left arm now, and you might notice when I rotate it towards the camera, you notice the attachment point for the arm is also another one of the attachment points for that metal rod, I'd say. So that snaps in really nicely as well. Now let's go to the fourth step where we're going to be adding Kaisa's two wings. Let's go ahead and get these unwrapped. Here's the first wing, and it's incredibly detailed, and you might notice that there's a connection point, which is another one of those metal jacks. So let's go ahead and take this protective foam off first. And let's take a look at the other wing right here. It's very similar to the very first one. It even has the protective foam on it, so let's go ahead and remove that. and then we'll be able to attach them to the main body. I think I'm struggling here a bit just because I'm not quite sure if they were unique for each side. So there's a right wing and a left wing and so forth. It's pretty hard to make out on the assembly guide. So I did manage to place one in, and it does stay there and it doesn't shake or anything. So that's very reassuring that it's not going to break. So I'm going to go ahead and insert the other wing. I think I do move the camera for a better camera angle. Yep, I definitely do. This is probably one of the best camera angles for the wing insertion at this point. You're going to see that it goes in right there. I'm going to get the right wing at this point, and I think I just insert it into the back. And once it's inserted, I think it's very snugly fit there, so it doesn't really move much at all. And once that's been inserted, I'm just going to rotate it back around for the camera. And this is what it looks like, pretty much, let's say 90% of the way completed. Finally, we need to add the head. There is the head without the visor and one with the visor. It also comes with an additional pedestal that you can see here, which holds the head that you're not using. And one thing to note about the pedestal is that it has a really nice felt bottom material. Let's go ahead and unwrap the first head. I believe this is the one without the visor. Yep, it's incredibly detailed. I really hope my camera can pick up the details here, but I'm just using my phone camera, so sorry about that. And there's also a magnetic base here, which lets it just snap onto the body really easily. So there it is with the head attached. And I'll try to get some better shots later. This is just the, I guess, preview after assembly. And let's go ahead and open the other one, which is the head with the visor. Again, you can see that it's very different. And the base also has a magnetic base, which allows it to snap onto the body as well as the pedestal. So that is the unused head that is on the pedestal. And now I'm going to clean up so I can get some pictures. Overall, I'm very happy with how the Kaisa statue looks. For me personally, there's only one issue on mine. I think the paint got scuffed right here. And one other issue that I had with it is that you'll see later in the video, the statue actually lights up, and how it gets its power is my only other issue. It uses a micro B cable instead of a USB-C cable. I know this is a very small minor detail, but for me it feels a bit cheap in a sense. But I'm not quite sure if there actually is reasoning behind that, so if there is, I'm sorry about that. And that's pretty much it. I'll leave you guys off with a few more shots. And I know this video isn't usually the typical stuff that I do in regards to programming, so hopefully my next video is more programming related. We'll see. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So thanks for watching everyone, and have a good rest of your day.